Mic check, microphone rec. Yes, people, we are here. South of Heaven, alright. Does it need a big introduction? Pfft, more Slayer, alright. The fourth LP by Slayer. I mean, you'd think, bloody hell, we've just finished Raining Blood. Where do we go from here? We're getting heavier. We're getting heavier. We're getting into a realm as to where one or two songs here and there I'm going to become a little more unfamiliar about. But I'm familiar with so much material on this record. And the record coming on from hereafter, which are both fantastic. Seasons in the Abyss and South Heaven. I like moshing. I like mosh music. This one's for the moshers. This is South of Heaven. Let's just jump straight in, shall we? This band influenced so many incredible bands in metalcore music, especially the 90s. If you like this, check out a band called Congress, alright? Underrated, severely underrated. And as good as Slayer, who is as good as Slayer? But if you like underrated, hardcore, mosh, metal, punk bands, here we go. Where you can just slap people around the head. Who is it? Have we got Lombardo on this record? We must have, right? Dave Lombardo is up there with the best drummers ever. Whoa. Yo, I've never wanted to drum as much as when I was in high school listening to Slayer, man. Just them skanks, man. And that's Lombardo right there. Come in his eyes. You must die. Before you see the light, you must die. That's philosophical in nature, right? Oh! Heavy. Tempo change. Them drum fills are tight, man. They keep it mid-tempo on this number. You feel like they're just going to blast out. I mean, the guitar solos, shred-tastic, but as far as the riffs are concerned. And it makes me wonder, because I've not listened to these records in so long, let me tell you that. Something has me thinking, generally speaking, we're going to stay within that realm, but I don't know. There's two songs on this record I really loved when I was younger. Behind the Crooked Cross, wow. And Mandatory Suicide. Mandatory Suicide is crazy as far as the riffs are concerned. Not too familiar with Silent Scream and Live Undead. Coming up next. Them Chinas. Man, it was the summer of '88. Well, that's when this was put out, 1988. All of the thrash metal maniacs in my local town and area couldn't stand it anymore to hold the new Slayer record in hand. We were waiting from day to day and went to our local record store to ask if they had any news. Definitely no other chance to get any information back then. About 2 years earlier, Slayer had become superstars within the thrash metal scene with their breathtaking Rain in Blood album. We all wanted more of this unbelievable heavy stuff. Songs written by Slayer, how only they were able to. Then the day came. As I just read on Wikipedia, it was the beginning of... We immediately bought the record, went home, closed the doors of our rooms and put the record player on, awaiting another Angel of Death at first song. But what the hell? What was this? Slowly and Rotten, South of Heaven made its way to our ears. I remember it as well as if this had happened last week. What a great disappointment. It was so disappointing. Hard to describe. Okay, after this boring entry, Silent Scream brought back hope. I could write on and on to conclude. Disappointment was massive. We all wanted to hear South of Heaven. Nice. But it was just how it was. It took years in the beginning of the 90s when the real Slayer era had ended with Seasons in the Abyss, analogous to Metallica with Injustice, that we realised how good South of Heaven had been. It belongs to the great masterpieces of Slayer. Nowadays, I see it through different eyes and enjoy listening to it a lot. It contains some of their never dying pearls. Greetings from Germany. What an incredible write-up from somebody who was there. I always like to read that and put that forward to the artists and the creatives out there. They might not understand the wizardry. They might not understand your decisions right now. Don't worry about it, because they'll look back and like it, you know what I mean? Timeless stories have been told as far as music is concerned in regards to that. We got Silent Scream coming up next. Heavy tune, incredible starting riff to the record in my opinion. Definitely. Let's see where we go with Silent Scream, alright? I'm not too familiar with this tune, in all honesty. There's Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV signing in. We're listening to Slayer's South of Heaven record. Silent Scream is the title of this one. Track number 2 of 10. Let's go. Am I thinking of another Slayer song? Or is this the one where it goes down, 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 it makes me... Am I thinking of a tune off a bloody... Let's find out. I'm thinking of another one. Heavy metal kick there. VN says best performance by a drummer in a metal album. Not even close. I love... Oh, someone's going to say, you can't pause during the solo, man. Slayer has got some of the sickest artwork going. But I think from a distance, this album is more recognisable in comparison to when it's close up. When you look at it close up, it's a bit too busy. You know, I think it holds its weight a bit better from a bit of a distance, because I've never looked at it in too much detail, in all honesty. Crazy. Here we go. Interesting mix on the vocals. They're a little calmer than what we had on Rain in Blood. The performance. Lombardo's really showing off on this record. I've never known Lombardo for the drum fills, but on this record, he's just flying fills everywhere. Do you know when you listen to a record and you just think, man, that drum is really good? All Slayer is Slayer as a whole, like incredibly cohesive. But listening back to this, I'm thinking, whoa, Lombardo was stealing the show to some extent. What an incredible talent. What a virtuoso. Let's keep going. We've got Live Undead coming up next, alright? Track number 3 of 10. I wanna know what love is. I want you to show me. Slayer, Live Undead, track number 3 of 10. Don't waste my time, people. Let's get to the riffs. Come on. Cute little trill there. Come on. That cymbal swell was gave me blue balls, man. Lombardo is just going crazy on this entire record. Bombardo. I mean, aside from the way he's actually performing, the sound engineer has done a real good job at pushing Lombardo's technicality just through how bold he is in the mix, how clean the drums are, and where they're positioned in that mix, man. You can't miss them, can you? But Insane. Here we go. That rhythm's crazy. Bruh, that outro is insane. So intense. Bruh, that is so insane, that outro, man. Somebody left a comment. Let me know if you agree. Can't say enough about this song. I bought South of Heaven just for this. I love the gradual intensity of it. What do you reckon to that? The gradual... Do you reckon... You might be on about the tune, actually. I thought it was about the gradual intensity of the record. That's what I was going to ask you. Do you agree with that? We got Behind the Crooked Cross coming up next. I like this one a lot. I'm a big fan of this track. Or at least I was back in the day. dezrocksteady, King of the Pit TV, signing in. We're listening to South of Heaven. This one's Behind the Crooked Cross. I like this tune. This one used to be one of my favourites back in the day. I hadn't heard it in some time. Let's jump straight in. What happens when the drums come in? Do we have another guitar plugging away on an octave higher? Let me just work that out. It all changes. That low frequency disappears. Do we change an octave higher from there? Guitarists, let me know. There's a slight dissonance in that guitar. Bro, it's so ignorant. It's so primitive. It's just caveman drums. The Crooked Cross. That crash. It sounds like a very heavy variation of what a riff, what I think a Suicidal Tendencies riff would be. You know what I mean? It's very crossover. Here we go. Incredible, really good. I think, not to detract from how amazing the drum fills are on the record, but when Lombardo keeps it simple and just plays what he does well, without the frills, you know, or without going too extra on the frills, it works better with the band. Because they just sound tight as hell. Just so tight. They're such a cohesive unit. Really good. Mandatory Suicide coming up next. I like this one as well. This one's going to be good. Ba-ba-ba. Yes now, bless now. Don't forget to rest now. We're listening to South of Heaven at King of the Pit TV. Track 5 of 10. This one's Mandatory Suicide, okay? This is a good track. Let's go. Well now. Bruh, if a hardcore band came out, put a record like this out, it would be over. Them harmonies. Ba-dum. Let's have a dig in the comments on this one. So Kevin says this is their best album as far as I'm concerned. Nothing ever hits like this. Couple of agreements. Very cool. Well.
Machine gun fire, screaming skulls and out to die.
Here we go. It's just sluggishly heavy. Just feels like it wants to just fall behind the beats. Maybe it is. That's very metalcore. The spoken word atop of the riff in it. Great tune, great tune. The intro is ridiculous. The intro is mosh-tastic. After listening to the two tunes I really liked when I was younger, I think Behind the Crooked Cross is better. But they're both great for different reasons. Ghosts of War coming up next, track number 6, alright? Bada bing! Dezrocksteady at King of the Pit TV. Signing in. Ghosts of War is the title of this one. Listen. Great sounding snare. Why is my guy said Neil Peart? I am a lifelong Slayer fan. What's that about? Neil Peart drums for Rush. Dave Lombardo drums for Slayer. Very different, my friend. That's quite a respectful response to it. Come on. Quite death metal. Heavy. Am I wrong in saying that this band, through the records and through the record by record, song by song, they all are unique. It's hard as a metal band, as a thrash metal band, as a death metal band, to write song by song in a unique manner. They all end up sounding the same. But Slayer, Am I wrong in saying that? Am I being biased in saying that Slayer have a knack of just creating different by different songs instead of the same old, you know, trademark sound? Come on. Quite a melodic solo for Slayer. Good tune, eh?
Oh, stop right there.
I mean, what can you say? What can you say? Incredibly consistent record. You might like a bit of fast, you might like a bit of slow. Who knows what you like? But you can't deny that they couldn't keep doing Rain in Blood forever. So the way they've switched up and transitioned after the success of Rain in Blood is very bold and brave, in my opinion. So let's keep going. Read Between the Lies coming up next. There's Rocksteady King of the Pit TV signing in. South of Heaven is what we're listening to. Read Between the Lies is the name of this track. It's
incredible.
7 out of 10. That's Keith Lemon. 32 Red. Let's go. Here we go. Da-da-da. Here we go. This is the best lyrics ever. Poetic in a brutally beautiful way. This is what I love and why nobody could beat them. They've got cleaner vocals, WTH, minimal growling, and the stories in the way they put in their songs. Yeah, I mentioned earlier as far as Rain in Blood is concerned, the always came first. This album seems a little bit cleaner on the vocal performance, but it sounds good. Pete Lake says you can't beat analog recording so much warmth. I don't know the difference between analog and whatever, you know what I mean, comes in between or far beyond, to be honest with you. I don't know the difference. Da-da-da. Hooligan. That was a decent tune. It wasn't the best track on the record. That wasn't the best track on the record. Arguably, that was the weakest track we've heard so far. It's still good. Still very good, but arguably it's the weakest track on the record. Cleanse the Soul coming up next, alright? I mean, this might be the weakest. Only 33k views. Let's find out. dezrocksteady, King of the Pit TV signing in. Cleanse the Soul is the title of this one. Let's just jump straight in, shall we? Track 8 of 10, South of Heaven. We're not going to listen to the Priest cover, Dissident Aggressor, because I don't know the original song, so it's pointless for me to say my opinion. I don't know if it's been done justice or not. Doesn't Kerry hate this song? Apparently he does. Kerry King don't like it. Kerry King said that this song was too happy sounding. Cleanse the Soul and read between the lines. Read between the lies. Smart word player. Weakest tracks on the record. Let's hope the last track finishes it off. We're not listening to the Priest cover. It's irrelevant. Spill the Blood. 4 minutes 57. Quite a long one coming up. Let's finish this record off, alright? Yes, now, bless. Now, don't forget rest. Now, dezrocksteady, King of the Pit TV. Let's finish this record off. We've been listening to Slayer's South of Heaven. This is track 10 of 10 entitled Spill the Blood. Not really familiar with this one. I've been familiar really with the last few tunes. Let's go. Someone says this is the deepest Slayer song. Bold statement. Little volume fade in with the guitar pot there. Come on. Ooh. That's evil. Slight harmonies there. Diddle-diddle-diddle. I love how reoccurring theme is Lombardo going double time. Even though it's like a sludgy, a mid-paced riff, Lombardo always starts double timing that hi-hat or that cymbal or whatnot when the solo kicks in. Just gives it that oomph. Bit more groove to it. Come on. Digga digga da. Ba-ba-ba-da. Great cadence to finish with. That was really good. Yeah, that was a great tune. That was a very unique song for Slayer. Da-da-da-da. That was unique. The harmonies and the depth of sort of melodical value on that lead, um, you know, riff that was playing near about the start, that was really good. Yeah, that was a good track to end with. Good cadence on that as well. I'm going to do one last video where I give an overview of the record, my final thoughts, and I'll give it a rating out of 10. I'll see you there, alright? Yes, now bless. Now don't forget rest. Now dezrocksteady at King of the Pit TV signing in and signing out. We just listened to Slayer's fourth record, which was entitled South of Heaven. It was a fantastic record. We had 10 tracks on here. Didn't outstay its welcome. Just the right amount of material. I mean, arguably you could remove a cover and make it 9. I know Slayer have got a record of covers and so forth. I don't want to hear a Judas Priest cover on a literal Slayer record. Have we had a cover song on any of the albums up until this point? I didn't think it was necessary. Oh, but I'm not just going to start jumping and start criticising. This was a great change of pace from Rain in Blood. If they did another record like Rain in Blood, not only would it not, you know, what am I trying to say? Not only would it not possess the star power of Rain in Blood, but it would actually devalue the quality of Rain in Blood because it would just sort of economically water down what was once unique and fantastic. So a lot of pressure was on this band, no doubt, at this point to put out a record that not only, arguably compares but isn't the same. And they did a fantastic job. Plenty of mosh riffs, plenty of stomp riffs, plenty of just ridiculous, hardcore ugliness on this record. This record arguably would probably influence more metalcore bands of the 90s and onwards, that style, than Rain in Blood and the predecessors ever would. Very cool sound, very modern sound, released in 88, but it sounds like it's full of 90s ideas because of what it went on to influence, if not indirectly. And we had everything we needed from a record. I mean, Dave Lombardo, I would argue, stole the show on this. The drums were produced incredibly clean, and the drum fills were just second to none. The guitars, yeah, cool, good ideas, good riffs, but the drumming was just blown out of proportion on the record, to a point where I could say, arguably, it was detrimental to some extent because he had a higher vibration, not in the musical sense, but in the soundscape than the rest of the band. He was playing at a higher standard. He was cleaner, tighter, more egocentric in a way. Definitely had something to prove. Or at least he'd been practicing to the point where it just came second nature because it was absolutely incredible. Songwriting was really good. Better than Rain in Blood, the songwriting. And I enjoyed the mid-tempo approach. Do I associate that with Slayer to this day? Nah, Slayer fast. Slayer are a fast band. I always look at Slayer as a fast band. But they retained that demonic, evil, devilish quality and didn't lose no star power. Really good. Really good. I'm just going to leave that one there. What can we rate this? I'm going to rate this record a what? I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I feel like there were some weaker tracks on the record. As we got to the end, from track 6 onwards, it was not nowhere as good as the first part of the record, in my opinion. Nowhere near as good. So it feels like they threw the lesser quality on the back, which shouldn't have been the case. I do disagree with that, but some people would disagree with me on what I'm saying. And on that note, I'm signing out. So peace, would love, people. Would love.